right, tonight I'm going to talk to you about the law of mind. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about the law of mind, M-I-N-D, or no, excuse me, the law of permission. I forgot. It's the law of permission tonight. We're dealing with the law of permission. Let's start there. Oftentimes people ask me, Dr. Spiller, how did you go from being broke to becoming prosperous? What did you do to make your life shift? What did you do to make your life shift? What did you do to make your life shift? And the way people made it seem, they made it wanted to seem like it was a secret, as if success is a secret. I want you, those of you who take notes, and I'm so moved. If you're sending me a shout on Instagram, thank you guys. I'm so moved by those of you who are sending me the notes that you take off of what we share with each other here on Tuesday nights. I want to thank you so much for just taking serious what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to help and how I really want to see your life taken to the next level. And so thank you so much. Those of you who are sending me those notes via Instagram, they're like, Dr. Spiller, look at all these notes I took off of what you said. But that's it. That's the secret. The secret to success was taking notes from people whose lives I wanted to emulate. I can tell you this, and can y'all hear me well? Can you hear me fine now? Can y'all hear me fine now? All right, type in the number 2 if you can hear me fine now. Let me do this. I didn't want to put my headset on, but I'll put it on. Just for you guys, I'll put my headset on. All right, how's that? How's that? Is that better with the headset? Is it even better now? Okay, good. Okay, so success is not a secret. Listen to this. Write this down. Success is a set of proven principles that were practiced by the elite. Success is a set of proven principles that are practiced by the elite. No, not practice. I'm sorry. So no. Set of proven principles, erase that, that are proven by the elite as a result of regimented practice. Success is the result of principles proven by the elite. They're proven. The elite have proven the principles through a regimented practice. So success is not a secret. All you have to do is, watch this, what do successful people do in a routine? What principles do they practice in a routine? They're successful because they have proven that the principles work by applying a regimented practice. If you ever want to be successful, it's just doing things with consistency. It is a regimented practice by the elite. It is a regimented practice by the elite. Did you get that? Success is a regimented practice by the elite. You can always find the elite. You can always find the elite, or those who we look at the elite, and you will find them only practicing what they've proven to generate results. That's it. Now, when people ask me about success, I start researching successful people, right? How did you get successful? I researched successful people, and there are 3 levels of mentorship. I talk about these 3 levels of mentorship. I talked about them last time, right? I talked about the elite mentor, the premium mentor, and the local mentor, right? And the elite mentor is the mentor that is no longer with us, but their principles have been proven over a test of time, and those principles have made them famous, right? They're elite. We can't talk to them, but we do have access to their mind. Then there's the premium mentor who's still alive, but you'll never talk to him. You never get to touch him, but you may see him at a conference. You're able to watch him, see him, hear his voice, see him perform so that you can model him and walk in that success. Then there's the local mentor. The local mentor may not have the house, the car, the boat, or any of that. But what that local mentor have is the drive. The local mentor is more of an accountability partner that inspires you to keep moving forward when things get difficult and times get tough, right? They may not have everything that the premium or the elite mentor have, but they do have the drive, they do have the work ethic, and you can one day see them reaching that premium level if they continue in their practice, right? And so one of the things that I wanted to say is that once I found out what the elite do, once I found out what those successful people do, all I did was re-emulate. All I did was practice what they've already proven. If you can practice what's proven, you will shorten the mistakes that limit your experience. If you practice the proven, you will shorten the mistakes that limit your experiences. If you practice that which is proven, you will shorten those mistakes. You won't have as many mistakes. You won't have them. If you practice what's proven, if you take inventory of your life right now and say, am I any closer to where I want to be? Am I any closer to having what I want to have? If the answer is no, then what you immediately do is you stop practicing what you're doing. You change course and you find that which is working, because at some point in time, you have to look at it and say, I need to readjust. I didn't say throw away the whole project. I didn't say walk away from the whole project. Maybe what you're doing in that project isn't working and you just need another system within that project to keep that project going. If I'm making sense, type in the number 2. If I'm making sense, type in the number 2. If I'm making sense, type in the number 2. Do what the successful do, guys. Do what the successful do. We talked about the average people last week and how average people are your true enemy, because average people will allow you to remain average so that they can remain comfortable in the places that they've quit. Average people want you to remain average so they can remain comfortable in the places that they've quit. Your parents want you to remain average because they need to remain comfortable in the places that they've quit. Your exes wanted you to remain average because they needed to remain comfortable in the place that they have quit. People only want you, watch this, to remain in the same circle with them, if not lower than them, so they can feel comfortable on the things that they quit on. Because when you refuse to quit and you make it, you only remind them of how they quit. Guys, on how they gave up. How many of y'all have been in situations? Talk to me. You've been in situations where it just seemed like when you had success, it was not celebrated by the people that should have celebrated it. How many of y'all been in that scenario, that situation where you thought that they were just going to roll out, they would have a party for what you went through, and only to find out that they were more or less like, oh, okay. How many of you had one of those lethargic celebrations from people you thought should have been excited? Right? Right? Now watch this. I discovered this. I discovered that the rich operate by laws. I discovered that the rich operate by laws. Are you ready? I'm going to introduce 9 laws, but I'm going to talk about one. I can't go into all of them, but there are like 9 different laws that I've discovered from rich people. And if you apply these principles, you'll have the same results that the rich people have. So I'm going to give you some laws. I want you to write these laws down. The law number 1 is called, I can't really elaborate on it because we don't have that much time, but I'll at least give you the law so that you can do or study and research them on your own. All right. The first law is the law of mind, M-I-N-D, the law of mind. The law of mind, the rich understand the law of mind. The law of mind works this way. A thought undisturbed will eventually attract all necessary conditions to itself to manifest. The law of mind, a thought undisturbed, if you leave a thought alone and you continue to think on it, what that thought is going to do is attract all necessary conditions to manifest. This is why focus is so important. The law of mind says that if I concentrate hard enough, that which I see every day consistently will eventually move from the meta to the physical. That which I concentrate on, that which I think about, that which I think about. Why? Because the law of mind says I become the thought, or the thought becomes the thing. Do you get that? The law of mind. The rich understand that. That's why they spend a lot of their time in personal development. That's why a lot of time rich people spend a lot of money on personal development. That's why you see rich people at personal development conferences, because they want to make sure that they're getting their mind calibrated for success. You've heard me say this all the time. All of us were born rich. The problem is that we were raised to be poor. The next law is the law of polarity. The law of polarity. The law of polarity says in order for balance to exist, there must be two opposites to exist at the same time. Two opposites exist at the same time. Now watch this. Talk about the law of polarity, which means you can't know happiness without sadness. To understand sadness, you must first understand happiness, the law of polarity. Yes, that's correct. Right? To have bright, there must be wrong. To have good, there must be evil. To have night, there must be day. Right? Now, I need you to understand, when you talk about the law of polarity, and all things have an extreme opposite. There must be poor. To have poor people, you must have rich people. And the law of polarity says that the midline between both is just a change of mind. The midline between both is a change of mind, which means I can make you rich today. The only thing I need to do is change your mind. Did you catch that? That's the law of polarity. Rich people know that it's only a mind change that a person needs to go through to where they can go from $0 to millionaire status like I did in 3 years. You can do the same thing. Facts, the law of polarity. The next law, the law of duality. Duality, the law of duality. The law of duality, write that down. The law of duality says, you can explain it this way. Take you have one coin, but you have two sides to that one coin, right? Two sides to that one coin. Now, I need you to understand. The law of duality says, even though there are two sides, it's still one coin. The law of duality teaches about your nature, that there is a dual you. There's a two-sided you, but you're the same person, right? And the law of duality says that I can move in and out of these personalities at any given time. So you can have a rich mindset and a poor one, and you can move in and out of these at the same time. You're the same person, but you have two minds. How many of y'all understand what I'm talking about? The rich understand. The rich understand that they have to be careful about which mind they put on when they're conducting business. They got to be careful about which mind they're thinking out of when they're conducting business. They got to be careful about which mind that they're using. Guys, I want to provoke you to use the right mind. You have a dual nature, duality. Two sides of the same coin, same person. And what most people don't know how to do is how to vacillate between both of those two extremes, or how to vacillate between both of those two experiences. Most people only know how to be humble, but they don't know how to be wise. You know, they don't have that balance. You know, they want to be a shark, but they swim like a salmon. You understand? It's the same fish, but they don't know how to turn the shark on to be able to take their life to the next level. Everybody is a shark, right? The only thing that the problem is that life dulls your teeth. Everybody's a shark. The only problem with life is that life dulls your teeth. Life takes the shark out of you. Life takes the aggressiveness out of you. I told you I can't really go into those. But these are some laws that I had to come into the knowledge of. How many of y'all, right now, I'm pausing right there. How many of y'all, this is making sense? Type in number 3 if this is making sense. You're looking at you like, oh my God. Oh my God. This is what rich people know. This is what rich people know. And this is what I had to learn to be able to change my life. The next law is the law of correspondence. Look at all these threes. Wow, that's a lot of threes out there. The law of correspondence. The law of correspondence teaches as above, so below, as below, so above. So it's like the law of correspondence. Let's get it this way. Here's another way. To see God is to see me. To see me is to see God. The law of correspondence. To see God is to see me. To see me is to see God. As above, so below. As below, so above. But then take it to another reality. As above, so below. The below is in the natural realm. Above is in the spiritual realm. As in the spirit, so in the natural. As in the natural, so is the spirit. As in life, there's in death. As in death, there is life. So then the law of correspondence is that and to see, another way to say it is, without being too deep, the macrocosm is a sign of the microcosm.
as the microcosm is a sign of the macrocosm. Most of you, the rich know this, are able to shut out what needs to be shut out, to focus on what needs to be focused on. As above, I come in alignment with what I know in my spirit by doing in my flesh what needs to be done. As above, so below. That's probably too far, but some of you are able to catch on. The law of vibration teaches that everything is in motion. These are the laws. The law of vibration teaches that everything is in motion. In order for it to have life in it, it must be moving. And the rich people know this is why they're constantly moving. This is why they get up before everybody else. This is why they probably go to sleep before everybody else. This is why they probably sleep for a few minutes while you sleep for hours. Rich people don't need 8 hours of sleep, right? Rich people function when the rest of the people are sleeping. They're thinking and they're out thinking. Now, the law of vibration is that they believe if they stay in motion, they'll stay ahead of everybody else. Kobe Bryant is very well known about that. Kobe would practice 5 times a day. He said regular basketball players would practice 2 times a day. He says, if I practice 5 and they practice 2, what I understand is I'm getting in more time, more hours. So when game time comes, I'm going to be able to perform just a little bit better, just a little bit more than everybody else. And that's what the law of vibration means. It means that you always need to be in motion. You always need to be moving. You always need to be doing something. You always need to be active, right? Law of vibration. Then there's something called the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm. The law of rhythm teaches everything has a tide. The law of rhythm is the pendulum. It swings both ways. This is what the rich people know. To everything, there is a season. Rich people don't get mad when they lose a trade. Rich people don't get mad when things go wrong in their life to the capacity that changes what they feel about themselves. The law of rhythm says this: I'll have a winning season and I'll have a losing season. I just need to make sure that in my winning season, I'm saving for the losing season that's getting ready to put in its appearance. Guys, everybody has a drought. Doesn't matter who you are. Everybody has a recession. Every life has a retracement. Just like it has a trend, life has a retracement. And your life could retrace to the 38.2. Your life could retrace to the 61.8, or your life could do a full retracement all the way back to where you're totally broke, totally disgusted, totally don't have no money, totally don't have nothing going for you. It could reverse all the way back. But if it reverses all the way back to get on one end of the pendulum, you do understand that the pendulum has to swing the other way to bring you completely out of that experience until the extreme opposite. Oh, can I speak to about 300 of y'all listening to me right now? Can y'all hear this? Can I tell you that the pendulum is about to swing for you? What? Can I tell you that it can't get no lower than this? It can't get no worse than this? Can I tell you that? Can I speak to about 50 of you tonight and say, listen, it got to swing the other way, just like it swung against you, just like the market pulled back, just like it did a retracement. You do not know that the trend got to come again. The market doesn't always stay in consolidation. The market doesn't always stay in retracement. The trend has to go. It's called the law of rhythm. Guys, I need you to get your rhythm together, because when you get your rhythm together, then life won't hurt as much, because you know that life has to make up the difference in the places that life took things from you. The law of causation. The law of causation teaches that everything has a cause and everything has an effect. The law of causation, right? The law of causation. Everything has a cause, everything has an effect. All right, if this is making sense, type in the number 6. Type in the number 6. If this makes sense, type in the number 6. This makes sense, type in the number 6. The law of causation. I love the law of causation because here's something that you got to understand that the rich understand. The rich don't believe in chance. The rich know that there's no such thing as chance. In order to have an effect, you must have a cause. In order to have a cause, you must have effect. So the rich believe that everything is intentional. Now, I need you to understand, you either practicing that life or you're living intentionally in life. I need you to hear me. You're either practicing that life or you're living intentionally in life. You're either practicing at life or you're living intentionally in life, and you got to decide which end you want to be in. Because if you're practicing life, then that's why you will never put in what's called the game of life. Many of us are on the sideline of life because we never knew how to get in the real game. You only get in the real game when you start making things intentional. Your actions become intentional. Your thoughts become intentional. Your words become intentional. Your mood becomes intentional. Everything comes into alignment and congruency for the very fact of what you want to become. The law of causation. And then watch this. Watch this. Watch this. The law of gender. This is going to be a deep one. And then I'll get into the law of permission, and I'm going to talk to you very briefly on what I want to share with you tonight. The law of gender. There is always male and female. There is no what's it. There is no in between. There is always male and female. And the reason why there's always male and female is for the causation of life, the law of gender. You can't have a male without a female. But I don't want to deal with from a standpoint of a physical man and a physical woman, right? The law of gender means you must have a seed and you must have a womb. The law of gender teaches that there's always a seed and there's always a womb. In order for life to continue, there has to be a seed, there has to be a womb. There has to be a seed and a womb. This is the law of gender. So then what the law of gender teaches is that the thought is the seed, the mind is the womb. The thought is the seed, the mind is the womb. That the thought without the mind cannot give birth to an imagination. The thought, the seed, without the mind can never give birth to an imagination. And the rich understands that many things are, watch this, many wombs are not fertile. Many wombs are not fertile. Many wombs are not giving birth to an imagination for the expectancy of life. It's because they're not putting the right seed inside of them. They're not listening to the right voices. They're not hearing the right voices. They're not being mentored by the right people. They're not being talked to by the right people. Guys, if this is making sense, listen, the law of gender says, I need a seed. And if I plant that seed in my mind will eventually get to producing the movie called life. You will only live out the movie you create, but you've got to have a seed. You've got to have a seed. But listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. The pen is the seed. The paper is the womb. Uh-oh, watch this, watch this, watch this. The pen is the seed. The paper is the womb. The words are what you give birth to. And some of you are going to be used in this next season to take pen to paper and give birth to an idea, a strategy, a concept, a construct, that something's going to come in you. Some idea, something's going to pull you out of this famine that you're in. Something's going to pull you out of this wretchedness that you're in. There is something that's getting ready to happen. And you're going to be able to take pen to paper, and your creative genius is going to begin to flow. And when your creative genius begins to flow, you're going to give birth to ideas. You're going to give birth to strategies. You're going to give birth to concepts. You're going to give birth to the thing that's going to deliver your family. That inside of you is the seed called deliverance. And oftentimes deliverance can never manifest until deliverance becomes a strategy that's going to not just rescue you, but oftentimes the strategy doesn't form because you don't want to rescue your enemy. I'm going to say it again. Oftentimes the strategy doesn't form because you don't want to rescue your enemy. You only want to pull out who you want to pull out. But I have discovered that if Ben Franklin only thought about electricity for himself, then he'd have never flew the kite. If the Wright brothers thought about flying for themselves, we'd never have the airplane. Anything that's great to be done is going to be done for the masses, not for the few. And if I can get your mind to shift, if I can get your mind to change, if I can get your mind to activate, to believe that you're called to the masses, that you're assigned to the many, that the multitudes are waiting for you. See, you're not lost, you're just undiscovered. I think that was worth saying again. I need you to hear me. You're not lost, you're just undiscovered. You're not lost, you're just undiscovered. And the time is coming, once you get this law of permission, once you get the law of permission, understand this law of permission, you're going to start seeing things come into your life that you've been expecting and believing from, not for. How many of y'all see this is fire? If this is fire, drop some fire emojis right now. Come on. Drop me some fire emojis. If you're loving what's going on right now, come on, drop some. Drop some fire emojis right now. How many of y'all taking some notes? If you got some notes off of what I said, type in the number 2. I need you to get these notes. I just gave you 9 laws. The law of permission being the last one, and that's the one I'm going to talk about tonight. This is the law that changed my life. This is the law that changed my mind. This is the law that opened my mind. It's the law that gave me vision. It's the law that gave me purpose. The law that gave me hope. It's the law that allowed the universe to bring to me all the things that I needed, all the things that I desired, all the things that my heart was set. They start coming to me. They're coming to me right now. And I'm going to teach you the same principle for the few more minutes that we have left. What is the law of permission? Write this down. The law of permission teaches nothing can happen to you without your permission. The law of permission teaches that nothing can happen to you without your permission. That may seem simple, but it's not. And I want you to dig on that. The law of permission. Law of permission, law of permission, law of permission. Are y'all ready? All right. The law of permission. Let's deal with it. Can't wait. Law of permission. All right. Now, you would think, oh, I got to give permission to things to come into my life. Well, let's think about it from a law standpoint. Anything that happens to you without your permission is against the law in the natural. You can file charges on someone that violates that law in your life. You can be arrested for violating that law in the natural. To violate without permission, to not have consent. Nothing can happen to you without your consent. As it is in the natural, so it is in the metaphysical. In order for the tide to flow into your life, the dam must be open. The dam is your permission. Your husband had to marry you by your permission. Your wife had to marry you by your consent. You couldn't get married here without the consent of having a marriage license. See, if you break the law of permission, you can get sued. The law of permission. The law of permission says, I cannot have anything happen to me without my permission, without my consent. As it is in the natural, so it is in the metaphysical. That's the law of duality. Right? Now, I need you to hear me. Now watch this. When was the last time you gave money permission to come into your life? I know it sounds simple. I'm sorry, it's just what they wrote. When was the last time you gave money permission to come into your life? I didn't write this. It's been proven. My life is evident of it. When was the last time you gave happiness permission to come into your life? You'd be surprised the things you endorse to come in your life through your creator. I'm so sick and tired of you. Permission. I'm so sick. Permission. I'm so hurt. Permission. Why do you have a I'm so and don't connect nothing to it that you want? How is it that you have a I'm so, but you've never connected I'm so to something you wanted? I want you to think about your words and how many times you use I'm so. And what have you connected I'm so with? How come you never connect that to something that you really want? I'm so tired. Ooh, I'm so tired. I want you to think about I'm so. I'm so is I am so. I'm not going to talk about the law of I am. I already did that in the previous lesson. But I am, anything you connect to I am, you become. Oh, girl, you know I'm broke. Oh, girl, you know I don't have no money. Oh, you know I can't afford that. Permission. You gave poverty permission to remain when you said what you couldn't afford. The law of permissions. It's already working in your life. Think about what you do every day and think about what you don't give permission to and think about what you're doing to keep your life average. I'm so, I am, I. You make me sick. Now you have given permission for sickness to enter your life. And then you're going to sneeze and tell me, I think I'm coming down with something. You did come down with something. As above, so below. As within, so without. I know that you're thinking, Dr. Spiller, come on, it can't be that. Just look at what you've already done. Look at how you already talk. Look at what you already given permission to. You just keep hurting me over and over. You just keep hurting me over. And so now you give her permission to remain. I'm so dumb. You give permission for ignorance to remain. What permission do you give to enter into your child's life? The law of permission. What consent have you given over your child by the words you've spoken over your child? What have you said to your child? What permission, because they're not of age to have consent. So now your consent works in their life as well. The law of permission teaches that your consent works for your child as well. What have you released over your child? What permissions have you? Is this too heavy? Oh, I think people are probably dropping off. I think this is too heavy. Don't be mad at me. 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 But what if you tell your child? What if your child heard you say to them, girl, you so dumb. Girl, you so stupid. You've given ignorance to remain in their life. You're giving ignorance. Now, don't be no hoe. Don't be no hoe like your daddy. You've given permission. I'm going to keep it real, guys. I'm not. This is what is wrong. What you have to be careful what you give permission to. So now let's take it, because you may have never used a profane word, but let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Watch this. Let's go. Because you're looking at a profane, but then what is the definition of profane? What is the definition of profane? Because you may not say dumb or stupid or ignorant or any of those things, but how about saying nothing? Because sometimes permission can be taken so that laws can be fortified around your children. You can fortify things around your children without giving consent in the metaphysical positions over their life. Why? Because trust me, I'm a child who went to school, who teachers told me I was dumb, I was ignorant, I was stupid. These are words that were spoken to me outside of my parents. These are words that were spoken to me when my parents weren't around. Listen, you have to be so careful about allowing your child to be in environments where words can be spoken over them. Consent can be given to things over them. Words can be spoken in them, and those words form philosophy, and the philosophy forms psychology, and psychology forms physiology. What words do we allow to be spoken over us, over our children, over our last names, over our potentials? What have you done, and what have you given permission to enter into your life? What if you just stopped and said, I'd be doggone if I'm gonna let another person speak an ill word? You listen, I don't give permission for that to enter my life. I don't give permission for that to go around my life. And you may think this is an extreme, but you should ask rich people what they think. This is not my mind. These are not my laws. These are not my rules, but these are the things that I've practiced as a result of listening to them, as a result of hearing them. And my life took a quantum leap in 3 years, from $0 to multimillionaire status, from living in a rat-infested house to living in a mansion, from driving a beat-up truck to driving a Bentley, a Maserati, a truck, and listen, all it changed was because I started using these laws. And these laws have changed my life. I'm trying to tell you, I had to control my words. You would oftentimes hear me say, I'm the best there is. I'm the best there was. I'm the best there'll ever be. If you've been around me long enough, you've heard me say, I'm the best there is. I'm the best there was. Oh, I've heard a low self-esteem person say, oh, that's an arrogant spirit. I said, no, you just got a low self-esteem. I'm the best there is. The best there was. I know who I am. I know who I represent. I know my reflection. I know that outside of me is bigger than me, but bigger than me is living in me. And living in me, this bigger than me is waiting to express himself through me to show the world what God can do through a man who yields him his spirit. I'm here to tell you right now, guys, there's some greatness on the inside of you, but it needs permission to come out. There's some greatness on the inside of you, but it needs permission to come out. I dare you right now in your house, give permission to greatness to come out. I dare you right now, just tell greatness, I give you permission to come out of me. Do you know that inside of you is the universe? Do you know the Milky Way is on the inside of you? Do you know, as above, so below, that the God within is the God without? The God without is the God within. And if God is in you, then there's a vastness in you that you haven't explored. There's a greatness in you that you haven't seen. There's a maximized you in a minimal lifestyle. That there's something in you waiting to come out of you. It just needs permission. You got to give permission to release that thing. You got to give permission for greatness to come forth. And I know you don't believe that, but I went to a conference and that's all he talked about was releasing your inner greatness. And I'm like, how do I release it? How do I release it? He said, just give it permission. He said, Spiller, just give greatness permission. And so then I start doing it. I release my inner greatness. I release my inner greatness. I release the me I haven't met yet. Listen to what I just said. I start saying things. I release the me I haven't met yet. I release the greater me. I release the me in me that my ancestors couldn't release because of Jim Crow. I release the me in me that my ancestors couldn't release because of slavery. I release in me the me that my family never seen because of segregation. I release the me in me and I start speaking and releasing that type of person. I start pulling that person out. Listen, my mama ain't seen this type of money. My grandmother haven't seen. I am the richest man in my family. Did you hear what I just said? I'm the richest man in my family. I dug into the deepness of what was left behind, legacies that were never claimed, inheritances that were forfeited. And I reached into the inner person and I pulled that thing out. It's in you. Listen, there is greatness on your last name. You just ain't seen it yet. And nobody in your family has seen it yet. But if you start giving it permission, if you start talking to that greatness and say, you're coming out of me. Greatness, I'm releasing you. Greatness, I'm expelling you. Greatness, I'm exercising you. Greatness, I'm pulling you out. I give you permission to come forth. I welcome new ideas from this great person. I welcome a new mindset from this great person. You have permission to come in my life. Then I start talking to money. Ooh. It gets stank when I start talking to money. I start talking to money and I start telling money. I just think, ooh, you have all my permission. Money, you got permission to wake me up. You got permission to come on this next trade. Money, I give you permission to interrupt my poverty. Money, I give you permission to interrupt my lack, interrupt my deficit, interrupt my famine. Money, I give you permission to show up right now. Now, you may be saying to yourself, does it work like that? Ask somebody that's living their dream instead of living their nightmare. They speak to the inner them. I'm a firm believer that there's a greatness in you that you haven't received yet. There's a greater person in you that you haven't been introduced to yet. You know what I used to do? Listen to me. You know what I used to do? Listen to me. I would go in a mirror in my restroom and I'd have a conversation with me, but I wasn't watching me. I was watching my lips speaking to me. And I would talk myself. I would give permission to myself and say, listen, trading is not hard. You are a master trader. It's not hard. It's not hard. Listen, Ralph, you are wise. I give permission for wisdom to come into my life. I give permission to recognize an uptrend. I give permission to recognize a downtrend. The teachers had said I was stupid in the 3rd grade. This teacher said I was dumb in the 5th grade. The teacher said I was dumb in the 6th grade. The teacher said I was troubled and dumb in the 9th grade. Oh, but I believe that there's a greatness on the inside of me that supersedes what the teachers have spoke. I speak to the person that my 3rd grade teacher didn't see. I speak to the person that my 4th grade, my 5th grade teacher didn't see. I speak to the person that my mama didn't see. I speak to the person that my dad didn't see. I speak to the person that my ex-husband or my ex-wife didn't see. I speak to them and I tell them to come forth. The me I haven't met yet. I speak to that person, I say, come forth. I call him out of the tombs of my imagination. And as I call him out of the tombs of my imagination, I renew my mind knowing that I deserve the best this life has to offer. And I talk to that. I give permission for the best to show up. Oh, I'm happy and grateful now. And I give permission for the best to show up in my life. I give permission to grass-fed beef. I give permission to Wagyu steaks, and I give permission to filet mignon. I give it to end in my life right now. I give permission to whole food. I give permission to organic vegetables and organic eggs, and I give permission for the best to come into my life right now. Listen. I give permission to chefs to come into my life and cook for me, so I ain't got to cook for myself. I give permission for maids to come and clean my house because I just don't feel like cleaning it. I give permission for lawn men to cut my yard, and I want them to cut my yard just because I don't feel like cutting my yard. I give permission for my lights to always be paid, and I give permission for my gas to always be paid. And you're thinking like, Spiller, does it really take all that? Spiller, it really doesn't take all that. Spiller, you're taking this too far. Come on, Spiller, you're going a little bit too, come on, that's too spiritual, Spiller. Well, listen, I tried it your way, and I stayed broke. Right? I did it everybody else's way, and I ain't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. I decided that, look, everybody else is successful. Why am I sitting over here struggling? What do they know that I don't know? And damn it, I need to know what they know so I can get my family out of this. I don't need my son seeing me like this. I don't need my daughter seeing me like this. What do I need to do? Let me find out what I need to do. Let me come out of my arrogant pride in my poverty, and let me ask somebody who's winning, what do I need to do to get what I need to have so I can get my family and me out of this situation? That's when I gave the Lord permission. I gave David Emanite the permission to check my behind. Now, listen, do I want him to do it all the time? No. Do I run from him some of the time? Yeah, but then listen, when I wanted to go to the next level, I had to give permission for somebody. Lord, listen, I give permission for mentors to come into my life, to take me to the places that I need to go. Do you know I have the fortunate privileges of working with some of the top industry leaders in network marketing ever off of that confession? That one confession. I can name Brad Hager, Holton Buggs, David Emanite. It first started with Brad, and then from Brad to Holton, and from Holton to David. It went down. My confession brought me into 7, 8, 9-figure earners. I had to be a millionaire. It was no way you were going to stop me from being a millionaire once I started giving permission. When I gave permission, these men came into my life, and they sold into me the knowledge that I needed to know, introduced me to the people I need to know that was critical to my success. I gave permission for certain people to come into my life, and I gave permission for certain people not to come into my life. I cut some people off. I had to take permission away, because just like you give permission, the law of duality is you also have to take it away. And there's some of you right now that have given permission to some things to enter into your life that you just need to cut off right now. You need to cut them off right now. What have you given permission to enter into your life? And what can you close the door on tonight? If you can't close it physically, but at least you can close it mentally. I'm talking to a woman right now. Listen to me. You think you need them to validate you. You think you need them to support you. You don't need them to support you. You don't need them to validate you. You are who you are. You are God's queen. You are chosen. You are God's elect. You are God's sovereign. You don't need to take crap off of nobody. Yeah, I'm talking to you, girl. Listen to me. Quit tripping. I'm talking to you. You think I'm talking over you? No, I'm talking to you right in your living room right now. You tripping. No, you're better than where you are. You deserve more than what you have. Come on, there's a magic on the inside of you that's waiting to be released. Don't you dare make any more excuses for what hasn't happened. And don't you dare look at the past. Yes, girl, I'm talking to you. Don't you dare look at the past and use the past anymore to stop you from moving in what you need to move into. Listen, yesterday died last night, boo. Go ahead and bury the thing, have the funeral, and don't return to the graveyard. You are bigger than them, you are better than them, and damn it, you don't need them to be successful. I want to wake you up tonight, because if you don't do it, ain't nobody else gonna do it. Your mama don't believe in you, your daddy don't believe in you, your sisters don't believe in you, your man don't believe in you, your woman don't believe in you. You're in a situation where you're all on this on your own, and I'm trying to wake you up tonight to say all you need to do is give permission, and when you give permission, it's gonna show up. I'm talking to a brother right now. My brother, I'm talking to you. You are a king settling for less than what you deserve. But I want to speak to you and say, you give permission tonight for money to enter your life. Give permission tonight to lead your family. Give permission to take charge. Give permission to yourself to say, I am that alpha male. I'm going to step up. I'm going to step out. I'm going to do more. Don't you dare let your friends make you remain average when you know you need to give permission to the super to enter your natural. Don't you dare let someone make you feel that you're less than. My brother, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you may have a felony. Yeah, you may have a track record. Yeah, you may have things wrong with you, but you are the best there is. You're the best there was. Don't you dare cry over spilled milk. No, they don't want you no more, but I know who do want you. All we got to do is straighten you up. And when we straighten you up, people will seek you out. Maybe the reason why it didn't work, my brother, is because you were people that were beneath you. And God wouldn't let you settle down with something that was going to drag you down. I'm talking to a man right now. Pick your head up, bro. Come on, pick your head up. You are a king waiting for your castle, but the castle's not going to come until you get permission for it to show up. My brother, I'm talking to you. Come on, you're the father. Come on, God's going to turn it around. Your family's not going to always be in lack. Your family's not, brother, I'm talking to you. Your family's not going to always be in poverty. You're going to be able to take care of your kids. You're going to be able to provide from your family. The first thing you need to do is give permission for the best in your life to show up right now. And I'm talking to all my brothers who are listening to me right now. It ain't over. I know that happened to you. What can you do about it? Nothing. But I need you to raise your head up right now. Tomorrow is waiting on you, and it don't need to see the weak you anymore. I'm talking to my brother right now. My brother, tomorrow is waiting on you. You don't need to go into tomorrow the same way you went into it today. It's expecting you to come weak tomorrow, but I speak to the lion within you. And I tell you that lion to come forth. Raise up your head, my brother. Life is but a jungle. But remember, you're the king of the jungle. And all you need to do is step up and come all that you're supposed to be. I'm just trying to give you permission tonight. I'm trying to give somebody permission tonight. I'm trying to give somebody permission that when you have people around you that don't believe in you, you got people that don't care about you. You got more. Why are you concerned about what your haters? You've given your haters permission for their words to have meaning to you. Don't you dare let someone who don't have a place in your future have meaning in your present. Don't you dare let someone that doesn't have a place in your future have meaning in your present. They don't matter. They don't matter. Don't you care? Don't give permission for their words to have meaning. They're not going to be with you next year. God's about to take them out. They don't want to even be here in 2020. You're looking at somebody whose expiration date is here, and the only thing you're looking at is breath that's about to disappear. Your enemy is about to be moved completely out of the way. But while they're being completely moved out of the way, you're dragging them back in by giving them permission, by giving their words meaning. Don't give their words meaning. You'll never see them again. 2020 come, it's over. They'll never be able to show their face again, ever, ever, ever. You'll never see 2019 again. And it's setting itself up. How many of you right now are waiting for this setup? How many of you right now are excited about this setup? It's a setup, baby. The pendulum is about to swing in the other direction, but it can't swing without your permission. You've been sad, the pendulum got to swing to happiness, but it can't swing without your permission. You want to see the strong you? You want to get that dual nature out? You want to see the other side of you? You want to see the shark? The shark can't come without your permission. The shark can't come without your permission. look. Let me help you with something. I know people talk about me. I mean, a hunter only shoots at a trophy. When you catch that analogy, you'll get set free. A hunter only shoots at a trophy. You're supposed to take shots at me. I'm worthy to be mounted. What? It comes with the territory of just being great. Guys, and you're worried. Haters only reveal that you're worthy to be mounted. That's all it means. When someone hates on you, don't give them permission to let. All a hater is saying is, I wish I could mount them. Taking them out will be my greatest victory. If they never become, my words will be proven right about the witchcraft I spoke over their life. I'm expecting people to take shots. But I have to give permission to give a damn. I'm expecting people to take shots. But I have to give permission to give a damn. And I don't give permission. So it doesn't matter. Do you see the freedom in that? The freedom is I have to give you permission for your words to have meaning. The weak person is the person who gives the permission, not the person who gives the word. The person who gives the word is only significant when the person gives permission to the word to come into their life. But if I don't give you any permission, you don't have any significance. If I respond, that means I give you permission. I ain't giving you permission because you really don't matter. I want you to take control of your life tonight. I got to let y'all go. I'm done. Oh my God. I'm not on the word. I'm just out of time. I'm not on the word. I'm just out of time. Man. Okay. Well, I hope I said something with my loud and screaming self that will help you examine your life and take your life to the next level. I am pleased as punch about the law of permission. How many of you are going to apply the law of permission tonight? How many of y'all are going to apply the law of permission tonight? I want you, when this ends, I want you to get into a quiet place. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to get into a quiet place. Listen. Here's the exercise. I'm about to end it. Here's the exercise. I want you to do something for me. I want you to do something for me. I want you to get into a quiet place. And I want you to do it tonight. I want you to do it with me online. I want to hold you accountable. Can I be a mentor and hold you accountable? I want to get in a situation where I just for tonight, I want to do something where when I think about this, I want to activate something over you tonight. I want to activate something over you tonight, right? And I want you tonight to take this activation. All right? I'm going to set the atmosphere. I want you to do this for me right now. Come on, right now. I want you to pause right where you are. I want you to give permission to some things to enter your life right now. I mean, I want you to speak the polar opposite of what you've been speaking. I want you to speak the polar opposite of what you've been speaking right now. I want you to activate. I want you to activate it. I want you to speak the polar opposite. I want you to activate. I want you to get permission right now. I get permission for money to come into my life. I get permission for healing to come into my life. I get permission for strength to come into my life right now. Come on, right where you are. Come on, right where you are. This is it. This is the exercise. This is what I did. This is how I did it. I'm showing you right now. I get permission for every good thing to come into my life. I give permission right now. I give permission right now. I give permission right now. Every good thing come into my life right now. I give permission for healing to come into my life. My body's not sick anymore. My body's healed right now. I give permission for my white blood cells to start working. I give permission for my red blood cells to start working. I give permission for my liver to start working. I give permission for my heart to start working. I give permission for my circulatory system to start working. I give permission for my endorphins to start working. I give permission for my left hemisphere to start working. I give permission to my right hemisphere to start working. I just do those things. I do those things. I do those things. See, I do it. I get extensive. I get extensive. I get intentional. I get intentional. When I'm trading, I give permission. I give permission for me to see the right move. I give permission for me to see the uptrend. I give permission for me to see the downtrend. I give permission for every wisdom principle, everything I learned while I was trading. I give permission for it to come into my mind right now. I dig into the outer resources and the inner resources of my mind, and I bring back to remembrance all the things I've studied, all the things I've learned, all the things I've grabbed, all the things I know. I give permission for them to come forth right now. I do it right now. I do it right now. I do it right now. And that's what I do. That's how you do it. I want you to do it right now. Come on, I want you to do it right now. I want you to give permission. Come on, give permission. Give permission. Give permission for debt to be canceled. Give permission for doors to be opened. Give permission for doors to be closed. Come on, take some permission away. I take permission away from poverty. Poverty can't enter my life anymore. I take permission from abandonment and abuse. It cannot enter my life anymore. I decree and I declare it can't enter my life anymore. These are the principles of the rich. This is what the rich do. This is how the rich act. This is how the rich manifest. This is how the rich create. They do it, and they do it intentionally. They live intentionally. They live on purpose. I give permission right now. 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 What are you giving permission to? I give permission right now. I give permission right now. What are you giving permission to? I give permission right now. What are you taking permission away from? Snatch your permission away. Snatch your permission away. Take your joy back. Take your peace back. Take your hope back. Take your love back. Take your kindness back. Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. And then take back the permission. Take your heart back from somebody that doesn't deserve it. Take your mind back from somebody. You gave permission for his thoughts to enter your mind. You gave permission for her thoughts to enter your mind. Take your mind back. Take it back right now. Take it back right now. If this made sense, drop in the number 7 for completion. We're going to complete this thing tonight. Drop in the number 7. Drop in the number 7. I was getting emotional there. Y'all got to excuse me. I was getting a little bit emotional right there. Y'all see me wiping my face, right? I was getting emotional right there, boy. I was feeling that thing. Shoot, I was feeling that thing right there. Man, I was feeling it right there. Sure. I'm getting all emotional and things, tears running down my eyes. I'm calling the wife and I'm like, oh my God, I hope they don't see me crying up in here. Shoot, I felt that thing. Listen, man, listen. You can feel that poverty leaving. You can feel it leaving. You can feel it leaving. I want you to feel it leaving right now.